And welcome back, it's Melanie, your She Should Scrapper. So today I am back with a one-page layout using a combination of summary collections, kind of the whole kit I've put together of a couple of different simple stories, and then the Sunkissed from Cocoa Vanilla Studios. I don't have a lot of that one left, but I think the simple stories are Sunkissed and Summer Lovin', if I remember correctly. So what I am going to be doing is bordering my white base page first with this orange. I am going to gut it because I obviously want to conserve this perfect, I don't know, orange paper. And then I am actually also going to border my white with this floral paper. I decided, because it's just a photo of me and not really anything too summery, that I was going to end up trying to use up a lot of florals with this with this layout. So I did gut the floral paper as well, because what I'm going to do with this layout is kind of do a circular theme. And I knew I wanted to incorporate both of those papers in the circles for the layout. So once I get these all kind of taped together, then I will start cutting out my circles. One thing I have that I'm going to be using, it's from Thickers here, and I did get it at Tuesday Morning a while ago, and they're kind of like templates. I've used this for a title to kind of get the title in a circular pattern, I guess, but I use them a lot just to kind of trace and cut out the circles. They're just larger than any of the dies I have, so I will tend to use that when I want larger circles. So I have this one photo of me making a duck face. This was my last day in Florida after a softball tournament I went to, and I am not very good at putting my sunscreen on. Shame on me. I know I need to do better. But I feel like I was a lot more red than the photo lets on. But I was quite red after, I think, the 3 days in the sun. And so I was trying to come up with like a fun title, and I kind of came up with Too Much Fun in the Sun, and I was going to use all my alphas to kind of spell it all out. But it turns out in one of these collections there was Fun in the Sun, a foam sticker. So I am going to use that as part of my title. I did end up cutting a couple of smaller circles using my dies, and I am roughing up the edges of all of the circles, because even though I use that template to cut out the larger circles, I am not very good with my scissors, and it's still kind of jagged almost. And so to kind of camouflage all of those imperfections from cutting, I have this Sizzix tool, and I think I have it listed down below as one of my favorite tools. But I have a Sizzix tool that kind of roughs up the edges. So here's that foam sticker, the Fun in the Sun. I added even more foam tape to it, even though it is quite thick, because, and part of the reason, I think I wanted to be able to kind of play around with the placement of it without it sticking. And I know those foam stickers are very sticky. And so I did add foam tape and didn't take like the backing off, so I could move it around and it not stick on everything. I was just trying to kind of figure out where to put the title. I set out, when I started this layout in my mind, I wanted to use some of the icons that I don't normally use. I've used these collections a lot for my kids, like beach photos, and so I've used up a lot of like the beach ephemera and chipboard, and so I wanted to try to use the florals and some of the larger icons that I have kind of, I guess, maybe struggled to use. And so I just kind of had to figure out where to place my title that would allow me to use those pieces. So I am going to commit to all of the placements of the circles and put my photo in the middle of the large circle there. And then that kind of allows me to figure out what and where I want to embellish with. So I'm going to use the little white alpha here. I want to say it's from a Pink Fresh collection. Not really sure which one, but I have been using this one a lot lately, and I was happy to know that I had enough of the letters left that I needed. So I use that, and then I'm going to place my larger foam title underneath of it. So my title reads Too Much Fun in the Sun. I was actually very, very pleased that Fun in the Sun, I didn't have to, I guess, use my alphas. I have a hard time almost mixing and matching my alphas. I have so many as it is, but if I piece together my own title, sometimes it just doesn't look the way I want it to. And so I was happy to have the Fun in the Sun part already done for me. So here's some of the icons, the ephemera, the chipboard that I'm trying to figure out where to place. Again, wanted to use up some of the bigger ones, the florals, all of that. I just kind of felt like that bus or that van, whatever, was kind of too large over to the right, and I wasn't really loving that. So I am going to end up changing that, but you can see that I found some chipboard, just small floral pieces, and I liked how those looked kind of in between the circles. And so I kind of alternated the colors. I think there's a yellow floral on the right and the orange one on the left, just so it wasn't orange by orange. When going through the ephemera, I actually found a smaller, like straight on view of that van or bus, and I like that a lot better. I didn't like how long it was, I guess, for that embellishment cluster. So the straight on view worked so much better. I am going to end up using that swimsuit as well, even though I guess I'd never actually put a swimsuit on that trip. But again, I wanted to use up the icons. Too Much Fun in the Sun. I mean, I guess looking at the picture, you don't know if I was at the beach or at the softball tournament. So it didn't really matter with the swimsuit. I didn't feel like. I did find a couple of similar flowers that were just ephemera pieces. And so I did end up adding those to the top and the bottom, kind of again where those circles kind of meet. Loved the kind of retro radio, again, another icon piece that I was struggling using. And so I am going to add it to the front of my title there and kind of use that for the base of a cluster. Once I get this all taped down, it's kind of just the smaller pieces. I am trying to really figure out how to use that larger floral piece of ephemera, but it's just, I don't know. It just didn't fit anywhere on the layout, especially, tucked in to that bus and swimsuit because it's already on a floral piece of paper. So it wasn't going to show enough. So I decided not to use it there. I did end up adding sunglasses and a heart to the radio on the left. And then really just trying to figure out what to use and how to finish off the layout. I didn't want to over embellish. It is obviously very busy because there are so many pattern papers. So I did end up adding the banner to that top. I will probably go back and reposition it. I kind of want it down on the right side a little bit. After I looked at the layout straight on, I wasn't in love with the placement of that, so I'll probably go back and readjust that. I then found a puffy sticker that said Sunkissed, and I thought about making a small cluster at the top of my photo, but just didn't love the way that it looked and felt like it blended in too much. So instead, I moved that Sunkissed puffy sticker down to the bottom right cluster there and repositioned a couple of those pieces. Decided against the puffy flowers on the banner at the top. And then I think I just finished off, repositioned some of the hearts, and that finished off the clusters. I will see if any of these collections are still available, and if so, they will be linked down below. But I hope you guys enjoyed this layout, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.